Folks, do you like a good FFA? Well, of course you do, or else you wouldn't be here. Or I don't know, maybe you came here just to comment about how I suck. That's okay too. Feel free to get in those comments. Tell me what I smell like. Anyway, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and welcome back to another Total War Warhammer 2 battle. This time, it's going to be an interesting one. This is an FFA submitted by my Discord community, and the 4 players in it each had to pick a theme. And the themes are pretty funny. Volkmar, for instance here, the theme of his army is trying to pick bald units, because I guess it goes along with him. So Volkmar indeed has a bunch of flagellants, and then he's got himself a luminarch. There are some hunters, or huntsmen back here, sorry. I don't know if they're bald, but, I mean, they look like they have the potential to be bald, I'm not going to lie. And then he's got some warrior priests, which are very much bald. And these halberds, again, we'll never know because they have a helmet on. He's up against the Red Duke here, and the Red Duke's theme is Blood Knights. So the Red Duke is indeed right here, and he is rolling with his cohort of Blood Knights. There is a dire pack supporting them, and then there is a zombie line with a corpse cart, lodestone, grave guard behind it, and a mortis engine. As far as the other enemies on the field, or say enemies, they're all enemies to each other, because it is an FFA. We do have Tehenhuain's faction here, and Tehenhuain is rocking an all-skink army, of course, as it should be. And on top of that, he's brought a couple of big dino units, including an Engine of the Gods, and he is sitting on top of it right now, preaching to us the gospel of Sotek, and how all of us will be sent to Sotek's hell if we don't repent and be more like him. And that's what Tehenhuain does. He goes around the battlefield preaching the good word of Sotek. Anyway, so that is the all-skink army. And then we're going to have one more army back here. This one I am particularly fond of. I don't know why it tugs at my heartstrings, but I do like it. And it is going to be Ikit, and he has brought a themed army that is going to be all pew-pew, all guns. And so he's got the Doom Wheel here, the Regiment of Renowned, so the Wheels of Doom. And then it's basically an all-gun army. It's going to be a huge combination of Warlock Jezzails and Rattling Gun weapons teams. I don't know what's all the popping in and out here. CA, please, fix this crap. In any case, we got Ikit here, and Ikit is going to be on foot here. He's got a nice little short-range gun as well. So that is going to be the FFA matchups, folks. It should be rather interesting. I like this idea of taking these themed armies. It's going to mix things up. Now, FFA, for those of you who aren't as familiar with it, maybe you're watching this and you're like, I don't really get FFA, or is this like the Rome 1 or Medieval 2 FFAs? No, it's different in a couple of regards. You did have a scored resolution on those older FFAs. It's all about score in these ones on Warhammer 2. You're going to see the Luminarch of Hysh here opening up on the vampires. I'm surprised it didn't pick the Mortis engine for a target, but in any case, yeah, these FFAs are a little different. It's all about points, and there is a bonus for the last man surviving. So it's not about necessarily hiding in the corner of the map and being the last one alive. It's really about having the most points on the board, and that is going to be a trade-off. Oof. There goes the target on the Mortis engine, and holy crap, it got deleted. Ouch. Ouch, yeah, Luminarchs are going to hurt a Mortis engine really bad. So I guess the vampire player decides to just dive the Mortis engine in at this point. He actually could have fallen back and probably healed most of that off. But he's going straight in, and these huntsmen are not having it. Not in the least. They're going to put this Mortis engine down. See what else is going on out here in the woods. Got the dire pack vomiting blood. A lot of weird graphics things going on this morning. In any case, we're going to see the Luminarch of Hysh open up. The Flagellant line is ready to meet the vampiric host here. And not to be letting them get all the points, Tehenhuain skinks are sneaking up behind the lines of the Empire. We're going to get a true taste of FFA madness here as it devolves into a three-way battle for supremacy. So the Empire and Volkmar and his bald troops are going to have to turn around and face the incoming wrath of Tehenhuain. And if they repent and come unto Sotek, he might spare them, but let's not kid ourselves, he still might not. The tire pack is pushing in on the flanks and getting a nice meal of these flagellants here. And you can see that the Luminarch is still trying to fire away. The tide of vampires is being held back by the unbreakable line of flagellants, at least for the time being. And you can see the Skaven have actually gotten into range of some of these skinky targets here in the background, as we can see some shots going off. Volkmar and his warrior priest calling down their bombardments from the heavens by Sigmar's name, cleansing those who are not pure. And then check out this burning alignment. Speaking of cleansing, Tehenhuain gives these people over here a baptism by fire, as it were, into the cult of Sotek. And the vampires take a beating, and then there is a banishment over here. So there is a massive fight going on. Rizuri and his empire baldness is getting the best of it right now. In fact, somehow the Templehof Luminarch is still alive, and Volkmar and his forces are holding out very valiantly in the face of an attack on two fronts, including an attack of a huge number of Blood Knights. Fortunately, there's a few Empire Halberds there to support. Now, speaking of schemes and sneaking, here comes the Skaven making their way across the map, and they are going to want to make their impact felt on this battlefield, and they are in a good position to do so. As we all know, they will be undefeatable because they have the high ground, so just like Anakin, all the other factions should just surrender. There is no point. So the Skaven back there from the high ground are going to open fire and turn this into an absolute four-way brawl, which again is going to highlight why FFA is so much fun for just social games with friends, and that's what this is. If you want to play some of these, make sure you join our Discord. We'd love to have you there. It's a great place to be. Awesome community. It's a great way to keep up with news on Warhammer, discuss it, find people to play campaigns, get advice, find people to play multiplayer battles, talk about other games, and just in general have a fun time. And just as a, FYI, we even have a channel called Pergameme. That's right, Pergameme, named after the Pergamum, which was basically a meme in Rome 2. So we got Pergameme. You want to see some good memes? Jump in. It's fun. In any case, here we are, watching the Skaven now make their presence felt. I mean, they were raining down a vicious death, but these Blood Knights would have needed to have been the target of these Rattling guns. And they were, to some extent, but not enough. And now the Blood Knights are in combat, and the Skaven are a little blobbed up. Their forces probably needed to be spread out a little more, so they're going to start taking a beating. But the Skaven came in and started picking up points at a very, very quick rate. The Red Duke is going to try and make them pay for that. And as we swing over this way to the battle with Tehenhuain and Volkmar's forces, it is really coming down towards the bitter end. You can see the Wheels of Doom actually sitting here. I don't know if it's lost its movement order, but Tehenhuain being absolutely shot to pieces by the Skaven forces. Looks like he's spinning up a burning alignment, but I think he routed in the middle of it. Yeah, he did. So he was trying to get a burning alignment off and then routed in the middle of it. Oof. And then the Luminarch gives him one to be remembered by on the way out the door. Yikes. That hurts. Anyway, here comes the Doom Wheel trying to help defend its guns. There are a bunch of chameleon skinks and skink skirmishers. I thought those looked different. I was like, these are two different units. Like the skink skirmishers and chameleon skinks are staying back from this fight. Volkmar has dropped his banishment on top of this blob and will no doubt be rewarded by the point gods for his behavior. So Volkmar really racking up the points, and because of his healing, things are going to get very, very difficult for the Skaven. The other faction, the Blood Knights, were going to be the best bet of stopping Volkmar. However, his bombardments would badly punish the Blood Knights for blobbing up on him too, so it's kind of a catch-22. You can see the support of the Warrior Priest here, very much on par. The Red Duke is fleeing said Warrior Priest, the powers of their baldness having become too much for him. He's really struggling to stay on the battlefield. The Red Duke does not have armor-piercing damage when he's not astride his dragon, and so it will make it slightly more difficult for him to dish it out. Now, I don't believe the Warrior Priests do either, but there is two of them to the one of the Red Duke, but that won't stop him from dropping zombie summons, as he should, like any good vampire should. And Volkmar is just really having a time of it. He's about to pass the 300 kill threshold. The Luminarch remains alive. The forces of Tehenhuain, I guess so dismayed by the loss of their leader, has forgotten to click an attack order over here on the Templehof Luminarch. They're paying a dear price for it. A desperate last shot, Winds of Death by the Red Duke to rack up some points. Doesn't yield too much. Wind of Death is going to work best on a more compact troop formation, so the more blob, the better. See the Red Duke fleeing here. He is not crumbling, but he's under fire from the skinks, and that is going to be bad news for him. Volkmar is just really owning at this point. There are a bunch of skink skirmishers and chameleon skinks that can certainly give him some trouble, but with 4,000 hit points and he still hasn't hit a healing cap, he is going to be a mess to deal with. Ikit Claw could potentially help deal with him, though I think there is some innate magic resistance for Volkmar. Yeah, 40%. Oof. Yeah, that's going to hurt Ikit Claw bad because Ikit Claw is dealing magic attacks. So Volkmar is in a pretty good place. I guess that being bald does bring along with it special magical abilities, so if there's any of you out there rocking that baldness, then be not afraid. Volkmar is showing you that it comes with all kinds of potential benefits. So we're going to see Volkmar continue to take out these rats. Natty Bubo's sharpshooters now being the target of his wrath, and he is dropping some bombardments on them as well. I hear the Luminarch over here still just wheeling up, actually uses all of his ammunition and downs a skink chief who is trying to rout from the battlefield and won't be allowed to do so in a dignified fashion. Being bald does pay off. Look at this guy, he's even looking in the mirror, he's like, dang, I look good. These skinks, though, are going to avenge their leaders. I think this Luminarch took down both of their leaders, and the skinks are not having it. Sotek will have his vengeance. And baldness or not, it won't save this this priest of Sigmar on his wagon here, his cannon. So he was forced off the battlefield, albeit not killed. Is this a banishment? Oh, no, it's a brass orb from Ikit Claw. So Ikit Claw trying to get in there. Honestly, I don't know how short-ended Straw can catch up with Rizuri at this point. Even with his troops gathering and being somewhat spread out, I mean, Volkmar is still healing, and he's close to 5,000 hit points. There's just nothing to challenge Volkmar on this battlefield right now. Like I said, I think the Red Duke's Blood Knights would have been probably the best chance of killing Volkmar, but every time you blob up, he has the Warrior Priest and his own bombardments, the Soulfire, and it hurts after a while. You can only take so much of that blobbed up, so it does become fairly difficult with the units present. The Skaven, even though he has magic resistance, the Skaven did have an opportunity to kill him from distance. They were focused on other targets. To be quite frank, there was a lot of targets. There was no one easy target to pick from for the Skaven. But they probably had the best chance out of anybody of dealing with Volkmar, for sure. Speaking of, again, here's some more three-way battling action brought to you courtesy of FFA. Oh man, this is good stuff. These unbreakable skinks, the cohort of Sotek's going to be an interesting unit here late in the game. They have to be killed to the last. You can see the regrouped Skaven. Again, just to give you an idea, I mean, these units certainly capable of dishing a lot of damage to Volkmar. They're doing it right now. You can see his hit points dropping rather quick with even just a few units focusing some fire on him, even from a great distance like this. So that's why I said earlier they would have been the best bet, because they've already chipped away probably, you know, over 1,000 hit points or close to it on him. Close to 1,000 hit points. So they've done some really nice work. The Wheels of Doom is going to be routed, and I guess it got routed by Volkmar, and so did Ikit Claw, but it almost looks like these skinks did it because they're chasing it. These guys are going to be going after these skirmishers out here. The Wheels of Doom, hopefully it's going to turn around and make that attack. Oh, no, it routes again before it can actually attack. Is that going to count as an attack there? No. So there's still 6, the cohort of Sotek, and that's going to be enough to get in here and disrupt Natty Bubo's. These guys have pulled almost another 1,000 hit points off of Volkmar here, and done quite a lot of damage. The skinks are out of ammunition. They do have a Bastillodon Revivification Crystal. I don't know if that crystal still has charges left, but it will be difficult for a Bastillodon to bring down Volkmar at this point, especially in the condition of health that it's in, and the leadership condition. See, the number of Jezzail's firing has decreased because the cohort of Sotek did manage to kill that one with only 6 skinks, and now there's 4 remaining. They do have armor-piercing values, which will make them actually a really nice matchup against the armored Warplock Jezzails. There goes the rest of the Lizardmen army. They can no longer hold their leadership together. And Volkmar himself now kind of confidently swaggering around the battlefield, knowing that things are pretty much under control. Any Skaven unit he even gets close to routes. No doubt they are routing because of the very frightening reflection off of his head from the sunlight coming back into their eyes and confusing the Skaven as to what it is that they're attacking. So this Warplock Gazelle was getting some nice hits, but it's going to be just like the others. When push comes to shove, Skaven leadership just isn't what it can be. These rats know that running is sometimes preferable to death. Though death isn't usually far behind Skaven at any option. You can see these cohort of Sotek here going to make in their last charge and go down with glory. And down they go. Soulfire to seal the deal. And that really only leaves one unit left on the battlefield, and it is a single Warplock Giselle with no ammunition. So as you can imagine, they are going to be no match for Volkmar the Bald, Volkmar the Powerful, Volkmar the Hairless, who carries this victory. Grats to Reezery, and awesome game from the Sword and Straw, Nikolai, Lord of Cats. Thank you all for participating. Man, this makes me want to sign on and play some FFA. This is actually a pretty cool idea, the theme armies, like picking a faction, picking a theme to go with it, and then having to play with it. This would be especially fun if everybody picks these prior to joining the battle, so that there wouldn't be any type of trying to counterpick it, which I'm not saying that these folks did, but could be a whole lot of fun. I might go try this. This was a pretty good time. So thanks to Reezery for posting these, and thanks to the other players for participating. Really fun armies here. Loved the theme. Tehenhuain did get some work done there. All the skinks, man, you gotta love it. Good old skink army. I actually really enjoyed playing tons of skinks in Tehenhuain's campaign because they get such massive buffs. It was really, really fun. And then the Red Duke here with his vampire forces. Fun game indeed from Lord of Cats. So thank you all for participating. HeirofCarthage going to be signing off for now. If you want to participate in battles like this, like I said, please go join the Discord. We'd love to have you there. It's a fantastic place. I can vouch for it. I love spending time there chatting with people and playing games, so please come join us. It is free. There is nothing you have to do. In any case, HeirofCarthage signing out. I will see you all soon with some more Total War Warhammer 2 action.